We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Wednesday, February 19th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Joining us today is Park Ki-yoon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And Kang Mun-ju.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So we're going to begin with our keyword news of the day. Our keyword for this Wednesday is Netflix. The streaming giant has reached a new milestone in South Korea, hitting a record number of users last month. According to data from analytics firm Wise App Retail, 14.16 million people were subscribed to Netflix in January, breaking its previous record of 13 million set in December 2024. Trailing behind was Coupang Play with a 7.6 million users, followed by TVing and Wave in third and fourth place. So are you subscribed to Netflix, Mun-ju, and what do you think is driving this record-breaking popularity of the app?
Of course, I am a subscriber to Netflix. I think this record-breaking popularity is definitely attributed to TV series, especially Korean original ones that Netflix is continually producing right now. Dramas such as Squid Game 2 or The Trauma Code, which just recently ended, or the variety show Singles Inferno, which also just completed its fourth season and is planning on shooting the fifth one, are primary examples of it. I don't want to say it is all about the content, but I think I have to say it's mostly about the content because that's the primary reason why the streaming platforms exist. So I think it's mostly the K-content that Netflix is continuously producing these days.
Right, because if there is more attractive content, then people naturally like to subscribe to that service.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Kim? Are you a subscriber of Netflix?
Of course, who's not? And the numbers speak for themselves. And I also heard that Netflix aggressively invests in South Korea among other countries because they bring in a very, very big profit margin, even compared to a lot of investment made in the US in terms of dramas and even movies. So South Korea is a very cost-effective investment country for Netflix, and that's why I think it gives a lot of content creators in Korea a lot of room to be a bit more creative, and they have a bit more time because they have the investment. They don't have to find investors because they already have a big amount of capital to work with. And also I think Netflix is a great streaming platform, number one obviously in the world, but there's also Coupang Play, which is owned by a Korean company. And I think Coupang Play is on a great path as well because they're showing live streaming of a lot of sports games, including a lot of soccer games, overseas soccer games, European soccer games, which I'm a big fan of as well. So I watch Coupang Play as well, along with Netflix, but I think Netflix is going to continue to invest more and more in South Korea.
Right, and we might see viewership even expanding more as Netflix is slated to release the third and final season of Squid Game this June. And that was our keyword news for this Wednesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Wednesday means it's time to explore the latest lifestyle trends among our generation. Take a look at the screen for more on today's topic. Recent data has revealed some disappointing employment figures here in Korea. The number of employed individuals last month dropped by more than 50,000 compared to the same period last year, suggesting a tough job market. How are young people navigating these challenging times? So just like the cold winter air this season, Korea's job market remains frozen as figures show. So the age group facing the harshest impact from this are those in their 20s and 30s, in other words, our generation. So how are job seekers responding to this uncertain job landscape, Hyun?
Right, so the MZ generation has often been seen as, by our older generations, as having high expectations, with many choosing to remain unemployed if they can't secure job at a major corporation or even a public enterprise of their choice. However, recent statistics suggest a shift in this trend. Job seekers are increasingly prioritizing employment itself over targeting specific companies. And according to a survey by a career platform called Saramin, 55.2% of respondents stated that they would take any job as long as they can secure employment. And this was followed by people wanting to join SMEs and startups, accounting for 15.1%, then mid-sized companies, 12.1%, then in public sectors, 8.4%, or large conglomerates are only accounting for 7.3%. So I think that's a big drop in the preference of actually wanting to join big companies like Samsung and LG. So there's definitely a big shift in employment preference.
This is definitely a big change because I remember before on Newsden, we talked about how the older generation kind of views the younger generation as being picky when it comes to finding a job, but now it seems that's not the case.
Beggars can't be choosers now.
Right. So Bunjo, are you also witnessing something similar?
Yeah, of course. The trend of how MZ generation seeks jobs has shifted, as just Guillaume mentioned, and major cause or the reason why MZ job seekers cannot be picky anymore, I think, is because they're getting exhausted from this prolonged job search process. So searching for a job is indeed a marathon rather than a sprint these days. So it's coming out of college, they need to earn at least the basic living costs as soon as possible. And also while companies are tightening their wallets, there are so many people, increasing number of job seekers in South Korea. So that's why this process is getting so prolonged. And consequently, it has become somewhat inevitable for the younger generation to turn their eyes away from their aspiring companies that they wanted to work for, but and they have to they have to go to companies that are looking for them, they're searching for them, they want them. So I think that's how the trend has been shifted compared to past and right now.
So it's definitely not the best time for job seekers to go on job hunting. But despite these difficulties, young job seekers are doing everything they can to secure employment. For example, adapting to new strategies and approaches. We're now going to broaden our discussion and break down how they are tackling the job search. So first off, where do they typically turn to find job-related information?
So growing up in the digital age, Gen Zs especially turn to short forms to gather employment information. This is according to another survey by a recruitment platform called Catch. So let's take a look at the screen for more details. Please do note there were multiple responses. And as you can see, 49% responded to searching for jobs through short forms, followed by 33% turning to long forms, and only 31% searching through text. So the main reason for using short forms was because obviously they could attain key information in less time, followed by it being very fun and easy. And this reflects the younger generation's tendency to heavily rely on digital platforms like using our smartphones, as they want quick, immediate access to the information they want in a fun and entertaining way at the same time.
Wow.
So they're very picky in a way. That's why big companies have caught on this trend and started utilizing short forms to reach out to young job seekers through short forms so that they can actually start applying for their companies.
This is a very notable change because back when I applied for Arirang, I saw the notice on Arirang's website. It was not short form. It was like a very long notice on the website. But now they're utilizing short forms to reach out to young job seekers, which is quite a big change. So once they find the opportunities now through short forms, long forms, or still texts, Bunja, how are they preparing for the big step, which is job tests and also job interviews?
Yeah, how they prepare has changed due to high inflation and digitalization. So study groups now meet virtually, and people even take profile photos through AI programs. So in fact, more than 400 open chat rooms are listed when searching for it, like job interview preparation or something. And there is a long queue for generating AI profile photos. And meeting in person, in fact, incurs space costs, right? But virtual meetings, obviously, through open chat rooms or other online platforms could save you a lot of money for you. And similarly, using apps for profile pictures is much more cost effective when you do it through a AI generation applications rather than photo studio. So that's how the change has been arriving these days.
So using cutting edge technology like AI or virtual meeting programs, that is once again quite a very notable change. Besides what Bunja mentioned, Kyun, are there any other things that kind of caught your attention?
Remote interviews have become more common, especially after the pandemic.
Oh, right.
And some companies now even use AI for interviews. And as a result, preparing for virtual interviews has become another challenge for job seekers, young job seekers, that is. And true to Korea's reputation as a country with a strong private education culture, many candidates attend specialized academies called hagwon to prepare for job interviews. And these academies provide tailored training based on different industries and job roles. And even in some cases, candidates also use past interview questions shared by previous applicants to better anticipate what they might be asked in the interview. And furthermore, it is common for job seekers to seek professional help in reviewing and refining their resumes and personal statements.
And talking about professional help, it seems that the government has also stepped in to extend a helping hand to all these job hunters. So I want to ask you, what initiatives are currently taking place to support job seekers out there?
Right, so with a rising number of young people either unemployed or working ultra short hours, local governments have introduced various support measures. For example, the Ministry of Employment and Labour continues to provide education and counselling services to help job seekers. And also, while it varies by region, many local governments also offer financial assistance to help cover living expenses for the job seekers.
That would be a great help to all those job seekers out there. Are there any other more support measures, Munju?
Yeah, just adding on, many local governments provide free suits needed for the interviews, and also they cover the cost of hair and makeup, which is kind of costly.
Yeah, they can be
right?
really expensive.
Yeah, they're very expensive.
Especially for women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do the hair and the makeup.
It's about twice
clothes.
as for men.
It is.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Very
So, and also there are also many virtual centers available for remote interviews.
It's very good to know that there are all these support measures out there. Now, Ki-yoon and Munju both introduced programs that provide assistance with resume building and interview preparation. Now, both steps are crucial in landing a job, but which one do job seekers struggle with more and want help? We asked this question to our viewers, whether they find crafting a resume or acing an interview more challenging. And let's take a look at the results. We ran a poll through our Arirang YouTube channel with the question, what do you find more challenging when job hunting? 55% answered the interview process, while 45% said crafting a strong CV and resume. We're going to take a look at some comments. Our first comment for this Wednesday, Benny D97, I find the interview process harder because the questions are sometimes difficult and require critical thinking to answer. After Rain 25, also the interview process is tougher because you can't prepare for everything that might come up and you still have to show your skills under pressure. Our last comment for this Wednesday, Viva La Orange, a resume is often the first thing an employer sees and you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So a strong resume is more important to stand out from other qualified candidates and secure an interview in the first place. Up next, for a global perspective on this issue, we'll be joined by a young person from Uzbekistan to share her insights on how job seekers in her country are preparing to land a job. We'll be right back.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Joining us on this Wednesday morning is Madina Gaibulueva, a millennial from Uzbekistan. Great to have you back on the show, Madina.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. So Madina, we would first like to ask you, in your country, Uzbekistan, how do young people typically search and prepare for a job? We want to ask you whether the process is similar or different from what we've discussed about Korea's job market on the top of our show.
Well, in Uzbekistan, searching for a job seeking, I can say that it's more similar with Korea. Because we also look for a job from the online platforms like Job Korea, Saramin, but in Uzbek version, so we call it like HH-Uz or Rabota-Uz. It's in Uzbek platforms. Also, we have many opportunities to share it in Telegram channels or in LinkedIn platform. Also, and there we have universities' career centers. They connect students with the employers, and of course I have to tell about networking, how it's important, a recommendation from your friends, from your family, or from your last company. It can help you to get a good job. And what about preparation for work? Preparation also it's similar to Korean because many students, they try to get extra additional certificates like in IT or in business or language courses, mostly English. And nowadays, there are the number of Korean companies increasing a lot in Uzbekistan. So Korean language also is becoming one of the important foreign language. Also, many companies, they offer to students internship or volunteering jobs where people can get experience. And also people, they improve their soft skills and the resume building. So they attend to the interviews and they attend to the courses where can get more information how to feel and how to build their CV.
Right, Medina, from your perspective, what do you think is the most critical factor in landing a job? For example, is it academic credentials, previous experience, networking, or even something else?
I think in Korea, networking plays a crucial role to get a job because many opportunities found through the personal connections rather than the only online applications. And because companies value recommendations from the trusted individuals, so building strong relationship in Korea, career relationship in Korea, it's really important. And also, I think it's more important to attend the industry events, joining business communities, and staying active on platforms like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. And also, there are a lot of job groups among the foreigners, so where you can just look for a job on Facebook, maybe. And yeah, it can significantly increase their job prospects.
Yeah, I agree. Our last question for you today is there any words of advice or useful tips you'd like to share with job seekers struggling to secure employment?
Oh, thank you for your question. I think my advice will be to job seekers is actively engage with the professional in their field, seek mentorship, and not hesitate to reach out the information interviews. In Korea, who you know can be as just important as what you know. Try to be active in social media as LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram and make your CV professionally. Look and apply for jobs which suits with your experience and background and never give up. Also, learning more extra skills, new skills, study in necessary courses which needed in your field will be helpful.
Well, thank you for the great advice and thank you for your time today, Medina.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in Arirang TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so ending off, finding the right job is a goal that many of us hold close to our hearts, and especially in uncertain times like these, securing employment feels even more rewarding and meaningful. So as we wrap up today's episode, for all the job seekers watching, could you please share a word of encouragement?
Well, that's a very tough question. The job market is very tough at the moment, especially here in Korea. Just to begin, not many companies are hiring at this time, which means there's not much space for job seekers to actually even secure an interview to start with. And I know it's a long process. You have to get your resume, CV, personal statement, and get ready for everything. And you have to look beautiful, presentable, and that can also be very costly. And I also think right now, landing the perfect job can be very difficult and it's going to take time. And as we've talked about today, many of them have become very tired and they just want any kind of job just to be employed. And I realized that a lot of youngsters, they don't tend to stay at one single job company for the rest of their lives or working careers as our parents' generation did. So I think just start somewhere instead of just actively being discouraged, and maybe you can kind of lower your standards as well. I realize that a lot of Koreans they're overeducated, they're overskilled. That's why they want that land that perfect job, but there isn't much opportunity to begin with. So maybe just spread your kind of expectations around and just try somewhere, start somewhere. It can be a part-time job, and any kind of work experience can really help you develop your soft skills as well. And like Medina said, networking is very important in Korea.
Right.
It's called inmek, and that can be also part of your skill to land a better job in the future. So don't hesitate, be more active, meet new people, and just try any kind of job. Or you can just freelance like me, and I'm really enjoying this.
Of course. And that can ultimately lead to the job that you want if you
Exactly,
start from
yep.
somewhere. And what kind of advice would you like to give, Munju?
Gihyun just gave you all the advice, so I'll just give you some like encouragement statements. So securing a job, especially if it's a full-time, but also like part-time, as Gihyun just said, it's getting harder and more stressful. But remember, life is a journey. It's not a race. So every step you take, no matter how small it is, you're just getting closer to your final destination. So even if it feels like you're moving away from your final destination, it's just another step in like honing your skills, right? So keep moving forward at your own pace. Every people has different pace. They have their individual pace that fits them best. And cherish the moments that make the journey worthwhile. And someday you're going to be at your final destination and enjoying your life.
And the most important thing is to never give up. And that wraps up this episode of News Generation, but we will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Park Yoon.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And Kang Munju.
Thanks for having me today.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for the privilege of your time, and hope we'll see you tomorrow as well. We are News Generation.